Hi everybody, this is Rose of Sharon and I'm back again with another book review. I just recently finished The Handmaid's Tale by Margaret Atwood. This is the actual book, not the graphic novel. And there's quite a bit more information in the book itself, but just like the graphic novel, it's a very up in the air ending. And I'm not going to say what happens because if you've seen the review for the graphic novel, I kind of give away the ending of the book. But as far as the TV series is concerned, it takes a lot more liberties with the colonies and of themselves. No, the compound in North Dakota, they don't really talk about the compound in North Dakota. They speak more of Canada, which seems to be sanctuary. And actually, I like that idea because it would come to reason that this would be a logical pathway to follow. And of course, it's intriguing because in the book itself, that relationship that she has with Nick, it's mentioned with a sort of disdain and revulsion, when in the TV series, yeah, they're definitely an item. But she's in a relationship triangle in the television series, which is also very complex and multi-layered. And of course, we have of Daniel. Well, she becomes of Daniel later. And of Daniel, I really like her character, even though a lot of the characters seem very milk toast and there's not a lot of backbone to them. But it makes sense. And there is a lot of creativity and innovation and invention that can be done with such a tale as this. And of course, it talks about the birthing clinics and surrogate mothers. And I was thinking, surrogate mothers are already a thing nowadays for women who can't have children. But science is actually advancing for women of older age to carry children when they shouldn't be able to. They call them geriatric pregnancies, which is what I hate because honestly, I'm 39 and I'm a late bloomer and I do hope to have children at some point in time. And I'm still young. I can still have children because my mother, she had me when she was 44. It was considered a geriatric pregnancy. And I was breech, and they thought I would have Down syndrome, ADHD, and I have a lot of energy, yes. But that's because I'm bipolar type 1. That doesn't have anything to do with anything else. But that comes naturally. I think that even though I am bipolar type 1, it doesn't really define me. That's a label, and I don't really use it to say, oh, this is who I am. No, that's just something that they say I am, and I am who I am, honestly, and I just want to get that out of the way. But still, nonetheless, I think Margaret Atwood has a very chilling picture of post-apocalyptic America and occultish values, the whole religiosity, the dogma of that, and the fundamentalist way that overtakes everything else. And uh, yeah, it makes me feel really, really, really cringy because I am a Christian. So, yeah, I could see it happening, but in a situation such as that, people would rebel, and they would rebel quickly because people do not like to be chained. They do not like to be forced to do things they would rather not. And in this case, it was adapt or die. And with June, or Offred, as she is called in Gilead, she makes her escape with Nick, but even in season 1, we're left to believe, well, she actually escapes, but what then? What now? Is the whole question. It's a huge cliffhanger, and of course, Mariah in the book, she disappears after she leaves Jezebel's, and we never see her ever again. But in the TV series, she stages a coup, and it's even better. You think, ah, yes, vengeance, and you just love Mariah for it. But like I said, they just give so much more dimensionality and multifaceted nature to the characters in and of themselves. They make them more human, they make them more relatable, and they give them each their flaws, and it gives more of a logic behind how what happened did and who brought it to fruition, which was Serena and Fred themselves. Doesn't actually say how they began the whole idea of Gilead, just that they colluded and then they formed it together. But in the TV series, you realize that she's made a horrible error because it is totally masochistic. It is totally patronistic and misogynistic, and just this whole idea of a harem society that goes back to biblical days when they had to have such a thing to survive. They had to have that. The women weren't considered that much, and it harkens to that, I think. And I've been reading Old Testament, so I know my Old Testament. And it is what it is. It's historical. You can't really turn a blind eye to it. But it brings to mind, what if this actually happened in this day and age? And yeah, that gives me chills, honestly. Hopefully it never does, but I'm glad Margaret has decided to be the voice crying out in the wilderness and say, hey, if we don't do something, if we don't be careful about the liberties we have, or etc., it could turn out this way, and it's just another warning, I think. But that's all I have to say. Till next time. Live long and prosper. Ciao, tutti.